What's up, guys? So today what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to take a photo of your bike shrunken. Text message. Who the heck is texting me right now? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick my camera on this here tripod, take a picture of that background first. Then I'm going to take a picture of the bike placed into the background, and then we're going to head over to Photoshop. All right, first things first, got the tripod set up, and that's going to be our backdrop right there. Bike's over there. I'm going to take a picture of this first, and then after that, stick the bike in there, and then we're going to take some pictures. And then, like I said, heading over to Photoshop. I set the focus to be a little bit closer so that the background is properly blurred. And that way it's just going to be a little more consistent so that the photo itself looks more realistic. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to set my focus on the bike. And now I'm going to snap this picture, but I'm going to go stand next to it as a reference. But before we get over to Photoshop, I need me some Mickey D's. So I keep it pretty simple. Don't need those. I always get the McChicken. No lettuce. I do a lot of driving, and the shredded lettuce is just annoying when you're trying to get around and not make a mess, not get distracted while you're driving. No lettuce is the way to go. Open this bad boy up. It's literally just bun, chicken, and mayo. It's as simple as that because lettuce gets all over the place. Don't lettuce and drive. All right, so focus. Over here on Photoshop, I'm gonna take the two pictures that I took and we're gonna make some magic and stick them together. I'll show you how that's done now. So let's go on over here to Photoshop. You can see here I opened up a new project and I've made a 1920 by a 1080. I'm gonna use this as the thumbnail for this video. I put it at 100 for the resolution for pixels per inch instead of the 72 because the file size usually stays small enough. Kept in RGB because that's what computer screens are going to read as, phone screens, so forth. In case you didn't know, little side note, CMY case for printing. So keep it in RGB when you're making digital stuff. 1920 by 1080 at 100 and create. Open up a big blank document. Boom, we're gonna go into the folder and I'm gonna grab the two pictures. So we got this one, boom, and this one, boom. Okay, so you can see now that they don't quite fit. There's a little bit of this white edge here, and that's just because the picture wasn't taken in 1920 by 1080. Almost, but not quite. So we'll just hold Control, grab the other layer. I'm gonna do Control T. That's going to give me the option to resize, and I'm actually gonna go probably a little bit bigger. But this is taking both of them at the same time and resizing them both, so I don't have to go and resize one to fit the other, so on and so forth. So, boom, here we go. All right, so let's hide this top layer real quick and just take our background. So you can see here with the background is a little bit out of focus, so the brick wall here is out of focus, and I did that on purpose because when I took this, the background should still be out of focus, whereas the bike is in focus. So we're actually gonna start with the bike picture, and you can hide this if you want to, or just stack the layer on top. I'm gonna zoom in a little bit, so Control Plus, it's on a PC, and just gonna grab that layer. I'm gonna go Control J in case I make any mistakes. So Control J is going to copy the layer. I'm going to go over here to my mask. I'm going to click that. I'm going to double click on the mask layer. It's going to open it up, and I'm going to say select subject. Just see what it does automatically. Usually not so bad. So you can see here a little bit that it's got the edges of my head kind of messed up, but that's okay because I don't need to shrink me. I'm using me as a reference for the rest of the picture. And when I shrink the bike, I don't want to shrink me with it. So we're gonna, over here, click the little minus, remove the mask on me. And we're gonna go over here and just kind of try to refine the edges a little bit along the bike. So to decrease the size of your tool, you can click the open bracket, and to increase, you do the close bracket on your keyboard. So back to the minus, try to get this as nice as we can. And it's not gonna be perfect, but what we can do is if we go over a little bit, we can just go through with our eraser tool and fix those edges. So we have the layer mask here. You can see if we take the original photo and hide it, it's going to sit on top of that photo we took of just the garage here. So the bike's sitting there, but it does look a little bit funny. You got the edges just look a little too clear, and down here it looks odd because there's no shadowing. So what we want to do actually is go up here, hide that one. We're going to select this layer here, and we're going to just start erasing some of the background, the bike, because we want to try to keep those shadows in. So I'm going to just go through and start erasing. And let's turn the hardness down here on the eraser tool so that those edges are a bit softer. One helpful tip is if you're erasing stuff or cleaning up things, try to do it in a really small section. So if you do mess up a little bit and you hit that Control Z to undo what you just did because you don't like the way it looks. Hopefully you didn't hold on to the mouse button for too long because when you hit that Control Z and undo what you did, it's going back really far, and that just sucks. So try to do things in small little sections, like right here, small little section. So that way, if I do Control Z and undo, I did a really small change and I need to only go back just a tad. So now that I've erased a lot of the background and trying to keep the shadow in there, you can see that this is what it looked like. But when I add the bike back in, now it looks a lot more realistic. It doesn't look so faked. So keeping those shadows is key, and having that very fine feathering that sort of goes through between the shadow and the actual rubber of the tire on the ground, it makes a huge difference. So now what we're gonna do is on this layer here where there's the picture of me, we're gonna go through with this rectangle tool, and I'm just gonna remove me real quick. Well, actually I'm gonna copy myself, so I'm gonna just go right around me and keep myself right there. So I'm gonna Control J to keep myself inside the picture, but I'm gonna throw that layer of myself on top. I'm gonna take these two layers here, and I'm gonna go Control T to resize, and it's gonna start bringing the bike and me down. And we want to try to find a good spot where, it can fit pretty well. All right, now that I shrunk it down, I like the size of the bike. I think the size of the bike is funny. It looks pretty cool that way. But I don't need the miniature me inside there. I want to keep the big me inside the picture. And I don't want this other parts of the background that got stuck somehow because it just doesn't look good. So we're going to select this layer here and just erase the leftovers, right? So now, taking me out of there, and we want to be very careful not to remove those shadows too much. So now you can see on this layer here where I'm in it, there's a kind of a hard defined line right here in the difference in color from when I took myself out, when I cropped myself out of the photo. So I'm gonna just probably keep the hardness down at 0, but I'm gonna bring the opacity down, let's say down to 25%. And just to clean up those edges a little bit there. Now you can't tell, not so much, you really can't. It's very, very minuscule. And this is gonna be a thumbnail for a YouTube video, so it doesn't need to be super, super duper high res. But now we have all of our layers, everything's set, it looks great. And all we need to do is color grade. I think I wanna bump up the size. So we just highlighted all of our layers, Control T again, and just start resizing to see what you think looks, you know, the best. So I'm gonna start now just fixing the colors and trying to make things pop a little more. But see, if I mess up, it's just on this layer, it's not on the original, and so that way if I mess up, I just delete this layer and I have my original still, and I can just redo, try again. So I'm gonna go up to here, selecting that layer, I'm gonna go filter, and then camera raw filter. It's gonna pop this open, and let's zoom in a little bit more so we get more of a look of kind of where we were gonna be at with the final product. Click OK. Ooh, look at that. So you can see I'm not in great focus. This wasn't the best photo of myself for this picture that, you know, like I could have done better to make myself a bit more clear. But again, you can definitely tell that the bike is miniaturized, and it actually looks pretty cool. And you know what I think I'm gonna do? Just little touch-ups and then shoot the final product out. You guys check it out. Thanks for watching. Appreciate you. Click that like button, ring the little bell. What else you guys supposed to do? Ooh, subscribe. Subscribers would be nice. You know, and then until next time, appreciate you guys. Stay safe, wash your hands. If you need face masks, just let me know. My email is J.W.Hanalei@gmail.com. Shoot, side.